We are back on Inside Politics with Glen Casada. He's about to become the Tennessee Speaker of the House when the Legislature convenes. The 111th General Assembly convenes in January. Mr. Speaker, the 10 Ready testing and evaluation program for students and teachers has had some major issues in the last few years.
Yes.
What's your advice to the new governor to fix it? Can it be fixed? Should it just be scrapped and something else started?
No, we cannot go back to paper and pencil. Other states are doing it, implementing this system. And
what do they know that we don't?
That's the question that I cannot answer. And so I have full confidence Governor Lee and the new Education Commissioner will figure this out. But we've got to push forward with online testing.
Governor Lee in his campaign put a great bit of emphasis on increased technical and vocational education. He even talked at times, I think, about having freestanding facilities right next to existing junior high and high school things to allow more of that VOTEC kind of training to be done. What are your thoughts about that, particularly about what might be the capital cost of doing that?
I think we need to proceed. What is the fiscal note, Pat? I don't know. But we have a lot of people, young people in our state that they're not interested in an academic college path. They're very interested in welding and pipe fitting, and those jobs pay well.
How long will it take to implement that? How far away have we gotten away from that model, which used to be in the schools, to where you think you need to be, what the new balance will be about providing both college-ready kind of classes versus VOTEC kind of classes? We
have gotten pretty far away. There are not as many VOTEC institutions across the state, but a couple of years you'll see a profound difference in just a couple of years.
Moving on to another area, and perhaps outside of what the Governor Lee will talk about, although I'm sure he's going to be asked for his support or thoughts about it. Your predecessor, Beth Harwell, over time became a supporter of the medical cannabis bill.
Yes.
It's a bill that, like some in the legislature, makes a little bit more progress every year towards being towards approval. I don't think it's gotten to the floor of either house.
Yes.
What are your thoughts about medical cannabis? Would you support that kind of legislation? A lot of other states are going in that direction.
They are, and I support a full and open debate. It's passed several states. It's quite popular, especially in my Republican county, and so I welcome the debate.
Now, the debate, meaning you haven't taken a position on it one way or the other about moving, say, Senator Dickerson's bill in the House at this point?
I have not read the senator's bill, but I'm working primarily with Dr. Brian Terry in the House, and I have not read his bill. He will have that ready for me shortly, and we'll sit down and discuss it.
The idea of going beyond that and perhaps having recreational marijuana, which is also being adopted across the country as far as being for sale and available legally, publicly, is that something? Is that too far for you? Or?
It is too far. I don't think we need to introduce another drug.
But the cannabis bill, which Governor Haslam and his administration basically took the position of, that was a gateway drug and was not a good idea to do. Do you think that's probably a little overstated at this point? It seems to be people are saying, no, this is really needed for people who need it, and it can be controlled to keep from being a gateway.
And you've just outlined the crux of the debate. Does it help people, and to what degree, and is it a gateway drug? And so that's what I mean by I welcome the debate.
The U.S. Supreme Court in its last session handed down a couple of rulings that give some new revenue opportunities for the state. One of them is to allow sports gambling to be legalized and obviously taxed in the state. Do you think that can be done without changing our Constitution? Because right now the only legal betting allowed in the state is on the Tennessee lottery itself.
That's correct, and that is yet again something that the subcommittee, with that deep dive that they'll do, is it constitutional to do sports betting? And if it is...
Sounds like a summer study to me.
I'm not ready for a summer study, but it needs to be debated to make sure we don't violate the Constitution.
So if that's the case, you know, all the other states around us, you've heard this argument before when it came around the lottery, that all the other states around us are likely to do this sports gambling thing. Does Tennessee need to follow that tune and look for a way to do it somewhere down the road? First
and foremost, we have to be in compliance with the Constitution. You can't just do something that's unlawful or unconstitutional.
But if you find it's constitutional, you would want to pursue that, look at it.
It's something we need to look at. If it's constitutional, and I actually think it is, then we do need to talk about it and look at it.
We're already taxing online sales to some degree. The Supreme Court says we can do that. Are you comfortable with our current bill? Does it need to be changed, expanded, or what do we need to do?
You know, I speak to a lot of local retailers, the brick and mortar guys back home, and they're at an unfair advantage online. And so again, that's something we're going to look at the effect and it's not the revenue, it's the fair competition.
A couple minutes left. You have raised some questions about the Community Review Board that Nashville voters adopted in the November election. Is it your goal at this point that perhaps you're going to look to nullify that with legislation in the House?
I don't think we need to nullify it, but I think we've got to remember, and the locals were created by state government, and they're given limited actions, and I'm of the opinion that they took an action that they didn't have.
There are other cities that have review boards like this for police. Are they going to come under your review as well for this?
We'll review, and what I'm going to recommend to our Judiciary Committee is that we come up with a template so that it's the same from Mountain City to Memphis, and be it that includes subpoena powers, that includes who can serve, how it's made up, a template for all the cities to comply.
So if you have one, you have to do it this way.
That's right.
Now, some cases when these are challenged, and you've challenged and nullified other laws passed in Nashville, but they've been passed by the 40-member Metro Council, not by the voters, by an overwhelming majority. The courts sometimes say that makes a difference. Does it make a difference to you?
It does, Pat. It does make a difference, and that's why I'm not, in my mind, I'm not thinking of overturning it, but creating a template that everyone would follow. So it's the same, no matter. So if you're a police officer or an official in the law enforcement, you know the oversight and what it looks like.
The General Assembly in recent years, particularly the Republican supermajority, has prided itself on being able to get its business done starting in January and wrapping up by sometimes early to mid to late April. You have so many new things going on this year. We've talked about those before. Do you think that's likely this time, or are you likely to be sloughing over into May?
You know, I see us getting done in late April. I do. We've got some sharp individuals coming into the House, and I see that it's putting it together, organizing it, and then moving forward and getting done in a timely manner.
Speaker, thank you very much for coming. I'm sure we'll have you back during the session.
I'm honored. Good to see you again, Pat.
And thank you for coming on watching Inside Politics this week. Hope you'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get enough politics in the meantime, go to the News Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. There's new commentary posted every Friday afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you back here next time. Goodbye.
I'm going to tell my now is a